There we go. All right. I love that intro. Hey, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. I am going to just make sure we can see. Why am I hearing myself?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't hear myself. Nope. Still hearing myself. Do you have us open in a different window? Oh,
I don't know. I do.
hold on. I do. There we go. I had us open on YouTube. There we go. Okay. That's better. Now I don't hear me. That's annoying.
Yeah. I bet.
Well, thank you everyone who is joining us live. We got together talking about how yesterday was, for those of us who follow the cycles of the seasons, that yesterday was Lammas or Lunasa, Lu being a Celtic god of light, not the sun, but light. And Lammas is the first harvest. And so it's the halfway point between the summer solstice and the fall equinox. And it's a time for us to look at all of the things that we wanted to manifest come, whether, depending on which New Year's you follow, whether it was January or, the astrological New Year in March, but all of the things that you set forth wanting to plant the seeds for, now we're starting to see things come to fruit, right? Things bearing fruit, so to speak. And so that's one of the things, that's one of the energies that's going on right now, is kind of looking back at what has borne fruit in our lives based on what we wanted to manifest. The other thing that's happening is we are in what's referred to as the Lion's Gate, hence the name of this live, right? So we have the Lion's Gate portal that starts July. I've heard 26th. I've heard other people say 28th, but it goes until August, I believe. At our latitude, August 11th. And this is where what's referred to as our spiritual star, Sirius, which is in the Canis Major constellation, is aligned with our sun and the Earth. And so we have this nice astrological alignment. Oh, and the Orion's belt. So we have this really beautiful astrological alignment. And then once August 12th at our latitude hits, Sirius will then have had its heliacal rising, which means it's above our horizon. So you can see it in the early dawn hours above the horizon. And that's when the dog days of summer starts, is after Sirius's heliacal rising. And at this point in time, so the 8-8 Lion's Gate is purely numerological, because the date of the alignment with Sirius, Earth, and our sun, and the date of the heliacal rising of Sirius varies year to year. So it being the midpoint isn't really accurate. It's sort of like a median as opposed to dead center. But it's a numerological point it's a numerological date, I should say, that opens an energetic portal to not only looking at abundance and the things that have borne fruit, like we talked about with Lammas and Lunasa, but also looking at how we can express ourselves authentically, right? So I realize if I turn my face this way, you can't see me because it's covered by my hair. So the energies of Leo is very much heart-centered and authentic, and having the strength and courage to be ourselves. And that's a lot of what we're looking at right now, is what wounds and fears do we need to release so that we can really become who we truly are. We have a full moon coming on August 9th. We have Mercury moving, thank God, direct on August 11th, I believe. So we have a lot going on, but the meat and taters, while we're in this Mercury retrograde, right? Retrogrades are when you want to review, revise, revisit, etc. Full moons are when things come to a culmination. So what is it that you need to look at within yourself, what wounds and issues within yourself need to be reviewed and revisited, and then ultimately released. Because the earth right now and all of the things that we're seeing going on in terms of the earthquakes and things like that, that's the earth releasing her own wounds of not feeling loved, wanted, validated, feeling very alone and feeling very isolated and feeling rejected, which are also our wounds. Those are the wounds of humanity. That's like the wound of humanity. So our wounds and Mother Earth's wounds are the same. So when we work on healing our wounds, we also help heal Mother Earth. When we send love to ourselves, we also are sending love to Mother Earth. We are not separate, just like we're not separate from the sun. So we have a whole lot going on right now. All right, Bonnie, what do you want to share? Sorry, I realized I was giving you a chance to.
I want to tell you, let's back up a little bit, introduce yourself.
Yeah, please. Oh, God. Thank you. Yes. Okay. So my name is Jennifer Passavant. I refer to myself as a holistic healer because I work on mind, body, and spirit. I am an intuitive spiritual life coach, an energy healing practitioner where I channel a seraph angel who calls himself Ian, as well as the goddess or ascended master, Kuan Yin. They both come in through the back of my heart chakra and send their respective energies through me to work on your chakras and your energetic field. And we work on physical things, but really we on more deep-rooted grounding type. And then I'm a holistic health practitioner because I feel like everything is a system. And so you can't focus on all aspects in order to have real, true, full body, full transformation. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
And I'm Bonnie Burd, and I am a holistic practitioner also. And I'm also a Reiki master, ascension teacher. And I teach you how to master your own energy and help you to heal yourself and to help others heal. I also do Akashic reads, and that's through hypnotherapy techniques because I'm also a hypnotherapist. And I just use a little bit of everything to do whatever you need. Whenever you come in, we kind of evaluate, and then whatever it is in my toolbox, I get it out and we see what we can do to help you find your life path, figure out who you are, and then find yourself in this world and remember exactly what you're here to do. And so that's what I do. That's pretty much me.
That is pretty much you. You do a lot of stuff. You do a lot of stuff. I think your biggest gift is not only doing the Akashic record regression therapy, but also the light language that you add to it. I think your light language is really transformative and pretty amazing. For anyone of you who's not familiar with light language, it's if you've ever heard of speaking in tongues, same thing. It's just energy that comes through vocally, and you're not supposed to translate it into words. It's just supposed to, just like music, just supposed to energetically shift your frequency. So anyway,
just allow it to flow.
Oh, go ahead,
Bonnie. So that's us,
and
then we're here to talk about the Lion's Gate and because we're on this as humans, we're on an emotional roller coaster ride. So we want to help you navigate to be able to not be so emotional, not be so, help you balance, give you tips and tools on what to do. And we may do a healing at the end and maybe a little bit of meditation. We'll see. But yeah, that's what we're here to do. We just want to talk about what people are going through, what they're feeling. And, we have comments. And so we'd like people to say in the comments what they've been going through. And if they have any questions, to put their questions in there, because we'd like to, just kind of make it a little easier for this time, because this, it started in July, 24th, something like that.
I saw 26th. I've also seen people say the 28th. So it's like roughly around there. I've seen 26th. And it's like 26th, 28th is about when it started.
Right. And it's ramping up to August 8th, which is the highest point. But then a week later, you're still a week after that, you're still going to deal with the aftermath and adjusting your body and your systems, everything. But really, it's everybody thinks of it as, oh my gosh, a roller coaster ride and it's going to be rough. But really what's happening though, get excited because it's an attunement to your higher self. It's an attunement to get you to hold more light, to hold more of who you truly are inside. So we're excited about, helping everybody ground that in and just be, not be so, if you know what it is and you understand what's happening to you and you know what to do when it happens, with grounding and drinking water and stuff like that, then you will not be so worried about it. So that's what we're here for.
Yeah. So Abundantly Empowered says, hi there, Sirius B Starseed, Blossoming Intuitive, excuse me, and Mama of Three Littles here. First live. Thank you for this beautiful heart-opening conversation, ladies. Well, thank you for joining us. So let's talk about the Sirius B. So because Sirius is being our spiritual star, I think it's important to break down that it is a binary star. So there is Sirius A, which is the white, blue, white one that we predominantly see, that Sirius A, and that is our spiritual sun. Sirius B is sort of like its shadow aspect, right? Sirius B is also referred to as the black star. If any of you are Harry Potter fans, you will recognize Sirius B personified with Sirius Black. If any of you are familiar with David Bowie, I had a dream about marrying him last night. Anyway, his last album was called The Black Star. That's also a reference to Sirius B. It's a red dwarf. And what I find interesting about that is that it shows that just as we have duality here on this planet, Sirius, being a binary system, also has its own level of duality to it. It has its light side and its dark side by having the Sirius B, Sirius Black. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you joining us. So Bonnie, I want to touch more on what you were referring to with, the healing opportunity that we have right now with these energies. Do you want to go more into that? If not, I've got stuff I want to say.
Well, I was just saying, so there again, because there's a light side A and a shadow side B. So are we as humans. We have a light side and a shadow side, and so the sun is reflecting that. It mirrors whatever it is. It's trying to help us bring out whatever it is we need to heal. And so so when we have something come up that bothers us, we shouldn't forget to ask the questions why, because it's always something within you that it triggered. So you need to understand that it's not what's going on in the outside world. It's something that's happening within you. And so if you ask yourself the questions and get to the seed of the problem, then you can release that. And then you can feel the emotions of it and release it, and then move into the light part of it. And so it's kind of like they also refer, the A as the higher self, like our higher self, to the sun. And so it's kind of like a cool, it's like it's mirroring, it's showing us what we should be doing, what it's supposed to be doing. So anyway, that's what I wanted to add to it. So go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, that is absolutely perfect. I got a lot of stuff today as I was preparing for this. I would like to do a meditation. I was given a visualization of what it is that I think would benefit people right now. But one of the things that it showed me is balance and unity. And I kept getting unity consciousness, and how community has the word unity in it. And sorry, I'm trying to condense stuff that I got over like a couple of hours into like just a few minutes here. But it was, I was thinking about unity consciousness and how we're moving away from tribalism and moving away. Tribalism is very Atlantean. And I don't mean Atlantis as a place. When I say Atlantis, I'm referring to an epoch, a time period. Tribalism was very big then. And so bloodlines and tribes, and I want to find my tribe. And really what that is I want to feel like I belong. That's really what that means. But we have to do that in a way where we feel like we belong with humanity as opposed to a very small group of people. So to let go of tribalism means go of polarity, letting go of the us versus them dichotomy. So no longer identifying with a political tribe, right? No longer pointing fingers outwards and saying, if they weren't doing this thing, then this wouldn't be a problem, because that in and of itself is divisive, right? And the age of Aquarius is all about community. And so I thought community has the word unity in it. So a part of our healing is letting go of this feeling of pointing your finger outside of yourself at others, and that as well as feeding your ego of, I'm a part of the 144,000, I'm one of the chosen ones, I'm an RH negative. That's really tribalistic, and it's very divisive, and it feeds the ego of wanting to feel special. But that comes from wounding. Everyone is special. There's no one who's not special. And so when we have that line of thinking of belonging to a special group because of a bloodline, because of a political affiliation, because, whether it's a sense of having moral or intellectual or spiritual superiority, it might not be what you're consciously believing, but that is the subconscious thing underneath it of wanting to feel special. And in order to move forward through the age of Aquarius and with a sense of unity, you have to drop all of that density of needing to belong to a particular group and instead belong to humanity. But what is the wounding that's causing that? Well, it's the wounding of not feeling like you belong. It's that it's that same wound of the earth, that wound of isolation, that wound of not fitting in, that wound of rejection. So I feel like those wounds right now are the ones that really need to be looked at in order to let go of that need to, how shall I say, to participate in the us-them tribalistic dichotomy. Does that make sense? Sorry,
Yeah,
that was a lot.
that makes a lot of sense. No, it makes a lot of sense because we are becoming Christ unity unity consciousness, and everything out there that tries to separate us, we have to come back inside in order to find that community, because it's inside, it's not on the outside. And so being able to bring your attention into your heart space, and not from your mind, not from your thoughts, be able to just commune into the heart space and understand who you are and what you're doing here. And that's exactly what it is. It's learning to let go of whatever it is that was your past, whatever it is that whatever shadow it is, and then peel the layers away until you finally look in the mirror and you realize who you are and what you're here to do. And remember, it's a remembrance of everything that you came here to do. And it sounds simple, but it's not as simple as it sounds, because you have to go through the emotions, being able to let go of it after you've seen why and who's involved, being able to do forgiveness, and just remember that forgiveness isn't about just being okay with whatever it is that happened. It's about being okay with letting go of that energy and letting that energy release from your heart and your system so that you can hold more light. So that's what it's all about. And so it's exactly what we think it is, though. We have to remember who we are in order to move forward and in order to become unity consciousness, because then remember that we are unity and we are part of Christ consciousness, and that we are here to master our own energy and to hold the light. And once we do that, then we find that we can definitely be in a higher time where we want to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Abundantly Imparted says 100% learning to live life from the inside out. Yes, from the heart out. And what I was shown was, and this is something that I was shown to incorporate in a meditation, but I was shown two things: a Merkaba, which is it's an upside down pyramid, which represents the feminine aspect and our lower three chakras, and an upward pointing pyramid, which represents the masculine and our three higher chakras. And the lower one spins counterclockwise and the top one spins clockwise. But in the middle, so if you have your upper pyramid here that goes to the top of the head and down, and kind of the bottom of it's roughly around your navel, and the lower pyramid is, you know, just a little below the groin and then meets about your heart, your throat. In the middle is your heart, right? So that's the feminine and the masculine balancing out in the heart. And then what I was shown was a golden, and I use this a lot in my energy healing, they have me do it a lot, was a golden infinity symbol connecting the two and kind of running the energies through, with the middle of the infinity symbol in the heart. And so really creating that sense of inner alchemical balance of your masculine aspect, your feminine aspect, and meeting the Christ consciousness in the heart, because you said it, unity consciousness is Christ consciousness. So you are not operating from Christ consciousness if you are still identifying and attaching to polarities of any kind or separation of any kind. And so it was like this unifying of the opposites is what I saw, a unifying of the opposites to create this new alchemical middle, I guess you could say. Yeah.
That's exactly how I see it. I've seen it in a lot of meditations and a lot of things that I've done in the past, and it's exactly like that with the unity sign going through it like that. Exactly.
Oh, that's fascinating.
So that's pretty cool.
Oh, I just got the chills. Very cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. And how do I want to say this? I think people are being given the opportunity right now to look at what's going on in the world, all of the things that are coming to light, all of the veils that are being lifted. That's the way they want me to say it. All of the veils that are being lifted on the external world is a reflection of things coming to our own awareness about ourselves and our shadows in our own lives. So yes, look at what's going on in the world and look at what Mother Earth is doing, because those all reflect everything that's happening within us. And so it really is an opportunity to kind of peel back the layers of, you know, what are the wounds that I still have left to really work through? What triggers me? What upsets me? What hurts my feelings? What makes me mad? What offends me? You know, where do those come from? And the idea isn't to point your finger outwards and go, well, it comes from that guy right there, or whatever. It's about, okay, I'm responding this way because I have a fear of this, or I have a core wound of da-da-da-da-da that originated when I was 3 years old. And then a lot of people look at healing as getting rid of something, but that's not what healing is. Healing means integrating. Healing means loving and embracing those shadow aspects of ourselves. So think of it like loving your Sirius B, right? Loving your wounded child. So like you wouldn't want your wounded child to be shoved out and rejected and not seen and gotten rid of, because that's the whole reason that your wound was created in the first place. You want your wounded child to be seen and loved and held, and that's what we do with our wounds. So when you can look at your wounds and go, okay, that came from, you know, my parents getting a divorce, or that came from me having a really abusive older brother, or, you know, whatever the wound is and where it came from, but that's why I'm responding this way. So the finger is never to be pointed outwards. The finger is always to be pointed inwards and looking at why you're responding the way you're responding. And now you have an easier time of peeling back the layers of seeing those things, seeing why you are responding the way you're responding. and then making a new choice and choosing to operate from your healed aspect by loving and integrating your wounded aspect. And that's exactly what Mother Earth is also going through right now. So she's going to have her burps and her tantrums, and we're going to feel the brunt of it, but so are we. And like you said, Bonnie, it's the, being able to be okay with sitting with your more challenging feelings and the things of yourself that you don't like to see, and your fears and all of those things, and being able to sit with those and accept that those are aspects of you and they are part of what make you you. And once you make the unconscious conscious, you're much more able to, that level of self-awareness makes it a lot less likely that you're going to operate from your wounded aspect in the future.
Also, don't be so upset because it's like a spiral, and it's like an onion. You're peeling every wound back, and you're healing it layer by layer. And so don't be upset if the same old thing comes back around, but just with different people. And you're like, oh my gosh, I've been through this before, and I don't know why it's happening again. But don't do that, because there's a reason. There's something you missed. There's something deeper. You're going deeper as you go around the spiral. So look a little deeper into your heart, and try to figure out, what it is. You may have the first time thought, oh, it was something that happened to me when I was 6 or something. Well, maybe it happened to you when you were 3 too. You just didn't remember. And so just, keep with it until you actually clear it and you feel like it's gone. And also another thing too is don't stay in that shadow work. Stay in it and stay in it and stay in it and stay in it. Take breaks, like do a little shadow work, release something, and then go outside and connect with nature, or drink some water, do something that's fun, go and maybe go swimming, get in the water, because water is so clearing and cleansing, and do something fun, and then go back to it. Don't sit there and one right after another keep trying to do this, because you're human and you need some joy and you need some laughter in your life, and you can't just sit there and continuously release things without bringing in some higher vibration, because the higher vibration will actually help you lift whatever it is you're trying to lift in the first place. So just be careful, be real gentle with yourself. Don't be that light warrior that's, I'm going to get this done and I'm not going to stop till it's all gone, because you physically, mentally, and your nervous system can't handle that. No, yeah, like the
I'm going to keep
the
digging.
worker guy is going to get it all done, but you can't. Yeah, and I'm going to keep ripping that scab off, but try give yourself some grace, because after a while you're going to be so exhausted from all that. Your body needs a reprieve. So just listen to your heart and listen to your guides and angels, and when they tell you to take a break, and you deserve it.
Yeah. I love listening to either the music that makes me the most happy. So if you make yourself like an uplifting playlist, that's always good. And then you can go for a walk in nature, or you can, if you still have things to do, listen to it while you're going to the grocery store or going to work. And you can listen to, I like to also watch comedy shows or listen to comedians. And so that brings about laughter. So anything that's going to uplift you, because it is, Bonnie, it's hard work. And like you said, it's really taxing on the nervous system. And our nervous systems are already kind of overloaded, because you've got all of the frequencies coming from Wi-Fi, laptops, cell phones, but also electrical lines. That's all bombarding our systems. But then you've also got the fact that our earthly planetary grid, our magnetic grid, is weakening. And because our poles are slowly starting to shift, it's probably going to be a little less slow, and we're going to go through the full shift probably fairly soon here. But our poles are in the process of shifting. And so because our magnetic grid is weakened, all of those galactic rays, whether it's gamma rays or geomagnetic storms from the sun, plasma, all the stuff that's coming from when the sun throws up in our general direction, but also just stuff from the galaxy, coming to us and bombarding us, which is also then electrifying the kind of basically like it's electrifying Earth's nervous system. Quite literally, it's the what's it called? It's like the Earth's electric sheet. That's what it's called. It's the Earth's electric sheet. Follow Space Weather News on YouTube, and you'll learn all this stuff. It's fascinating. And that's what's causing Mother Earth to kind of, oh my God. Okay. Yeah, dang. Okay. So think of how our sun carries the Christ consciousness to us, right? Which is why the sun symbolism is always used in Christianity, right? So like all of the, Jesus was born on December 25th, which funny, so is the sun. It starts rising, in the sky. Like all of that solar stuff it's because the Christic impulse comes through our sun. It's like broken down through our sun to us. That light purifies us, and it shines the light on all of the things that need to be healed and helps to purify them by bringing them to the surface. Mother Earth is no different. So when these energies from the sun hit the Earth's electric sheet and cause earthquakes and volcanoes, though that's Mother Earth having her emotional eruptions of things coming to the surface. It's no different, right? That just came to me. It's so freaking amazing. And so as the sun is helping Mother Earth elevate by dropping her density and releasing these things, with the help of the weakening poles, that's what we're going through. Our poles are also weakening and becoming more balanced. And that's why we're able to become more heart-centered. The sun is helping to purify us and helping us to see all of these things in us that need to be healed. So it's just fascinating, but we are moving towards a more balanced state. We just have to, clear out all the deep cobwebs.
Well, I mean, with all this energy coming at us, we're getting more and more used to it. It's not as hard as it used to be. But then there's people around us that hasn't done the work, and they don't understand what's happening. So we have to hold the light and be able to explain to them what's going on. And so, by keeping ourselves as the most balanced that we can, do our shadow work, but yet balance it and do our light work, do shadow, do light, do shadow, do light. So you get sort of a balance. And then that way you can help others who are totally off balance. I just saw in my mind's eye, like a top that keeps spinning and landing on its side instead of spinning like it's supposed to. And so help pick them up and help them spin and help them understand that it's not what it's really about. It's really about you and your healing, and it's to your benefit, and it's not a punishment. It's all done for you to help you so that you can live a better life, and so that you can live in the highest timeline to where you have joy and love and compassion. And so, just being able to hold your hand out to the person who doesn't have all the tools that you've got in your toolbox, and just say, here, you can have one of mine. Here's the whole toolbox. I'll make another, just, depending on how bad it is, just make sure that you keep an eye out for your neighbor, because we're all in this together, and this is unity consciousness. We have to remember that, and to take the time to give them whatever it is that they need to stand up that day if they can't. That's what it's all about.
Exactly right. And I want to clarify one thing that you just said, because I want to make sure that there's no misunderstanding. When we as light workers, what that means is we shine the light on our darker aspects, and we heal our shadows, and we do our own inner work. And once we learn how to do our own inner work and heal our shadows by shining our divine light on those wounded aspects of ourselves, you can then turn to someone who doesn't have those tools and not tell them what's what. It's not about this is right, that's wrong, and it's not about sharing your truth. It's about, let me show you how I healed myself so you can now heal yourself when you're ready. And so it's kind of like, when the student is ready, the teacher will come. Let them come to you. And when they've shown that they are ready and that they're seeking help, then, okay, obviously you're ready to heal. This is what I did. This is the awareness I came to. And really sharing your own healing story is how you can inspire other people to heal. And then I want to read what Abundantly Empowered says. She says, also a download that's come to me is that just by radiating our light and centeredness, we create a major ripple effect of calm around us. Be and embody the change we want to see. Well put.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, just like when I do Akashic records, they learn how to do it, and then they can allow excuse me, they can, and then after they learn how to do it through the hypnotherapy, they can do it themselves, because they're shown the way there, and they're allowed to do it, and then all they have to do is just allow their higher self to come in and help them with it if they choose. And and I found that, with the people that I've worked with in the past, that's exactly what happens, that they continue their healing. And so that's I agree exactly. We are here to just show the way. We teach how we got there, or listen to it, because every student has a different way of doing things. So, or if they tell you, well, this is how I did it, well, then there's another way. There's a different way. There's never one way. There's always whatever way works for the person, and incorporating that into whatever it is that they're doing, to release it. As long as they're doing it in a positive and working in the light, it's exactly how I believe that it gets done. What would you think, Jennifer? Did you freeze? I think you might be frozen. Well, I don't know where she went, but she's not here at the moment. So, just talking about the shadow work, and things that we feel that we need to do in order to do some of that shadow work. Just go, like, it's not as hard as you think it is. Like, if there's something that's triggered you or bothered you, here's Jen. I was wondering what happened. But if there's something that triggered or bothered you, and all you have to do is just sit down and sit with it. Oh, so all you have to do is just like sit with it, ask yourself the questions. What is it that is causing you to be upset? Where did it come from? You know, what is the truth of it? Because a lot of times your mind will tell you something, but you really don't know. Like, you think that this person said this to you because they're upset with you, but yet, do you really know that person is upset with you? Have you talked to the person and asked them the questions, or did you just decide that? And so it's all about unraveling the truth, because the truth behind all of it is where the healing's at. Letting go of whatever it is your mind has put around it, whatever it is that other people has said about it, but then really look into your heart and see the truth of it. It's like being the observer, the third way of looking at it. And once you figure that out, then you can go and let go of everything and decide that you're going to release that energy, and it's not going to be a part of your system any longer. But you have to choose that, the truth of it first, and not remember, get out of that, that lie that's going round and round in your mind. You have to get out of that circle, step aside, look at it from the outside, and see everybody's point of view. Because if you could see the other person's point of view, you might even feel like you might understand that it's partially your fault too. Accept the responsibility of it being partially your fault, and forgive yourself, and ask forgiveness from the person that you are having the disagreement with. And you can do all that stuff within your heart. You don't even have to go see that person, because that energy, we're all connected, and everything that you're doing is being sent to that person, and that person can accept that healing. And then they may not do it right away, but they might eventually do their healing. But until their healing is done, you've done your part, and you just have to just kind of let them go until they realize that it's something that they want to let go of too. And I guarantee if you let it go, eventually they'll come to you and say, I don't know what I was so upset about. I don't know. I don't even get it anymore. And then you both would probably resolve it. But it's all about that, just kind of looking for the truth. It's the truth within your heart. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's typically what I
And
tell
that
my
was
clients too, is it's like, what's the lie that you were programmed to believe with your childhood wounding? What's that lie? Because
mhm.
with all of our childhood wounding come lies that we've been programmed to believe about ourselves. Most of it is, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not. Those are actually the meat and taters of it. I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy of being loved. That's kind of usually what most of them come down to. And all of those then, based on how that was programmed. So, like, let's say your parents got a divorce and your mother moved out and your dad took care of you. You might end up with a female abandonment issue. And your subconscious mind is programmed to believe, I'm not good enough for my mother's love because she left. And even though that's not the truth,
Yes.
as children, we receive everything as if everything that happens to us is about us. Children personalize everything. And so then as you grow up, you operate from this wound of, I'm not worthy of these supportive women staying in my life. And so you have this female abandonment issue, and you can experience it in jobs, relationships, you name it. Um, but it, like Bonnie said earlier, you'll see these things spiral, and they will repeat until you start looking at them. And then even as you look at them, you come out the other side of the spiral, and they become, how shall I say this? The more you're able to see the wound, the less, it's like almost like testing to see how much you've cleared your ability to operate from that wound. Does that make sense? To operate from the lie. But you first have to know what the lie is and then tell yourself the truth. And the truth, of course, would have been that, well, my mom didn't leave me. My mom left my husband, but she didn't leave me because she didn't love me. She just left the situation, but she still very much loves me. But my value and worth also isn't determined by her. My value and worth is determined by what I choose it is. I decide that I have value because I exist and because I deserve it. So that's the truth of it. So when you can see, like you said, the lie, and then you can tell yourself the truth, you're more able to operate from that healed aspect of you.
Mhm. Exactly. So, like, if there's something that really bothers you, and you haven't let it go because you can tell the story word for word about what happened to you. And when you finally do let it go, then you don't even remember the details of it. You're
Mm-hmm.
just like, well, I don't even remember what she said to me, but for some reason it bothered me. So you know that energy's not in your body any longer, but that's what makes the energy so strong, is because you think over, your mind will go in circles over and over about that same story over and over, and it tells the same lie of what you thought in that moment. But if you start to unravel it, you step outside of that circle and start to take it apart and start to say, did she really say that? Did he really do that? Did I know that personally, or did I just think? And then when you let everything that you just think about it, then you start seeing the truth of it, and you start seeing why people related to you in the way they did, and with you being paranoid and saying the things that you said. I mean, it's not always going to be your fault completely, but you
Right.
still are going to find that some of it's your fault, and you have to accept that,
Yes.
whether it's good or bad or whatever it is. You have to accept that. But I mean, and once you don't have to, but it helps you if you will accept that. And
Yes.
once you do accept it, then you start seeing the truth, you know, and then you start thinking, well, that person isn't as bad as I thought she was. She's got all these problems over here, and this is why she's behaving the way she's behaving. Once you understand why a person does what they do, then you're able to just let it go and forgive them. So it's just, if we never went and just assumed things, and we always went with the truth, we wouldn't have we wouldn't have any of these shadows that we have, honestly. So as humans, we have to learn to slow down before we make it a record. Slow down, look at it, and then file the truth. And then once you get in the practice of doing that, that's when you'll start raising higher in your frequency, and you start being higher on your, and it gets easier and easier and easier. But at first, it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, but you have to remember your emotions are your barometer. So if you feel bad about something, then you've stepped out of the light. So why did you start right as soon as you feel bad? Start taking it apart. Don't let it get in a circle and store it in your brain. Start taking it apart and, you know, unbraiding it until you finally know what really the truth was. And then you'll think, well, that's not as bad as I thought it was. It's okay.
Yeah.
I accept that. I'll let that go. And then
Yeah,
you
you
don't
gotta
ever
look at
put it in the vault. But once it gets in the vault, once
yeah,
you get it in there, it's hard to get out.
yeah, you gotta yeah. And I think, you know, when you were talking about taking responsibility, we are all 100% and solely responsible for how we choose to respond to something. And you're either choosing consciously because you're able to see from that higher vantage point and go, okay, I know that this person is treating me this way because of their childhood wounding, so I'm not going to take it personally. And so I'm then going to consciously choose to respond this way and not take their behavior towards me personally and allow myself to get triggered, right? That's a conscious choosing how to respond. Or we unconsciously react, which means we act again, which is to say we operate as we have historically from our childhood wounding. And either way, you're either choosing to operate consciously or unconsciously. So it's a choice either way. So it's taking responsibility for how you are choosing to respond, and taking responsibility for looking at the filter through which you perceive, meaning all of that subconscious programming controls 95% of our thoughts, feelings, beliefs, perceptions, responses, everything. And it also directs a lot of what we manifest. So a lot of people think, well, the law of attraction doesn't work for me because I didn't manifest that jerk boyfriend. You did. It just was manifested unconsciously. It was your subconscious mind that attracted that to you to show you the wound that you can't yet see. But once you can see the filter through which you're perceiving and all of the, okay, I responded that way to that guy because I was operating from this wound, and I felt hurt with my boss because he didn't make me feel seen and valued, but that's my wounding coming up. Like, you can start taking responsibility for how you're responding, as well as how you are receiving and perceiving and believing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And once you've gotten to where you don't respond medically, that you think about it first, then it'll get a whole lot easier for you to see the third part, the other side of it, to be the observer. You know, you're training yourself to not be on the shadow side, to not be on the automatic, unconscious thinking. You're training your brain to conscious think. And so once you start thinking, that's consciousness there. And that's when we are definitely moving into the unity and the Christ consciousness. And that so people don't realize that it's all about your thought, because your thoughts are vibration and it carries memory. And it's all about your words, because your words are magic. You create with those words. So think about what you're saying and thinking about. You got to consciously think and consciously speak, and then consciously act. So everything's all about being conscious about what you're doing. So you never get in that slavery automatic. I do the same thing every day. I get up and I go to work and I do the automatic thing every day. Even if you have a job where you're going to do the same thing every day, you have to train yourself to be in the now moment, to experience everything that's happening around you, and to be conscious and to be happy, and to bring in joy, to bring in love. Even if it's a job you don't like, you got to find something that gives you joy and what makes you happy. And if it is a job that you don't like, then start manifesting a job that you do like. Because once you've opened your eyes and you've seen the people around you and you've decided that they're not in your they're not on the timeline you're on, and they aren't capable of being in the vibrations you're in, then maybe you do need to find another job that puts you in that higher vibration. And
Yeah.
so,
Self-awareness is
just
key.
creating your
Self-awareness,
own world and being confident in it.
yeah, self-awareness is the step one in healing. Self-awareness. That's step one.
Mm-hmm.
And to kind
Yes.
of tie
Yes.
everything up into a bow, because we've got about 10 minutes left, that brings us back to the sun, Leo, the sun shining light on all of the things that we need to see, that self-awareness, right? Um, Leo having the courage and the strength to see those things, but also then once you can see those things, you're able to be more yourself because you're less likely to operate from your wounded aspect. So that allows you to be more authentic. You're less likely to operate out of your fear and your wounding because you have that strength and that courage of knowing who you are, the good and the bad, right? The dark and the light, knowing who you are and being more in control of who you are and the aspect from which you're responding. And that's all Leo. That's all Leo energy.
Well, also being able to love yourself for who you are, no matter what you are.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Being able to love
Yes.
yourself completely.
Yes. So let's, because we've only got a few minutes left, let's go into meditation and energy healing. So I know that's something that a lot of people have come here for. So I know that
Okay.
if you don't mind, I would at some point like to incorporate what I was shown today, if that's okay. Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
What I'll do is I'll just like I'll begin. I'll start us in grounding and connecting to the highest, to Mother, Father, Son, and then I will do some light language of integration, and then just set the stage for everybody's systems, and then you'll do what you want to do.
Perfect. Okay,
I'll
that
say
sounds
it,
great.
and I'm handing it over to Jen.
I like it. That's perfect. Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you, Bonnie. Go ahead.
So everybody. All right. So everybody, just close your eyes and just relax. We invite all the archangels of light, all the masters of light to hold holy space for us. We ask that all that comes through is God's love and the highest vibration of love. And I want you to just imagine that this beautiful rainbow energy is coming down from Mother, Father, Son. We're just going to bring it all the way down past our eyes. Take a deep breath. Breathing all the way down past our shoulders. Take another deep breath. Breathe that beautiful energy all the way down past your knees. Take another deep breath. Breathe it all the way down past your feet, all the way into the earth, all the way to the heart of Mother Gaia. She stands there with her arms wide open, accepting our energy. Now she's going to do a blessing of the meditation. She's going to send keys and codes. Tu orte ina atotoko okura ini ikishtiki ina mokora pakaya nata. Isitikina tu kushtikamiata. Isiti imi atata upkumiata. Take a deep breath. Breathe those beautiful keys and codes all the way up past your knees. Take another deep breath. Breathing it up to your heart. And now we're going to send this beautiful pink energy out, connecting us all through our higher self, creating this big bubble of sacred energy, sacred holy space. And now beautiful rose petals are falling for the ceremony that is about to begin. And I'm going to do some light language of integrations of all of our systems. Tu uripikiana atra atashata ini iti ana mukuri atata miyatra. All of your light bodies being adjusted and being able to accept the beautiful love and the light. Tu ora ini atra itiana akayana atata oshtuku uripikiana atata amata. Isiti ini ikiana. Take another deep breath. Opening your heart to love. Beautiful rose petals are falling. Itina atara o rupiana shat pikina atara pikiana atata astututu yanayata atrabiata. Isiti ini atrapuku yamiata. Feeling the beautiful grounding of the mother. To otorapiani atra atrapikini atra. Then we're sending that energy through our crown all the way to Mother, Father, Son. Take a deep breath and send it out. Now keys and codes is coming back down from our heart, from Mother, Father, God. Tu idi iniatra arrepihiana achtakamiata isitikiana tariamiata da atrapukoriata. Take a deep breath. Let that heart space expand as we see ourselves stepping into the heart space, sitting right in the center of the heart. And this is where Jennifer is meeting us. I'm now handing it over to Jen.
So I want you to visualize a ball of white light a few inches above the top of your head. This is your soul star chakra and where your connection to your higher self resides. And I want on your inhale, I want you to breathe in that white light and draw it on your inhalation down into your heart. And then on your exhalation, push that light down into the core of Mother Earth. And then in your next inhalation, I want you to draw that Mother Earth feminine energy up into your heart on your inhale. Hold it there. On your exhale, I want you to send that light all the way up through our sun, where we receive our Heavenly Father Christic energy. I want you to send it through the 3 stars of Orion's belt. I want you to send it through Sirius, our spiritual star, all the way to the galactic center. And from there, I want you to visualize what would be the biggest, most bright sun you could ever imagine. And that is where we connect with Source itself. And on your next inhalation, I want you to draw that Source energy down. Draw the light from Sirius and your connection to Sirius down. Draw in the light from the Orion's belt. And draw in the Christ light from our sun into your heart. And from there, we're going to balance the energies of Mother Earth and the feminine, Heavenly Father and the masculine, the energies of Isis, the energies of Osiris, the Christ and the Sophia. So I want you to visualize a blue upside down pyramid covering the lower half of your body. It goes down below your groin, and the platform, the base of it, would be up about at your throat. It's blue for the waters of the earth, the feminine, the womb. And then I want you to start seeing it spin counterclockwise. Next, I want you to visualize an upward facing pyramid that is red for fire, like the fire of the sun, like the fire of Sirius. The point comes just above the top of your head, and the base is at about your navel. And I want you to spin that one clockwise. Make sure they're spinning at the same speed. Feel that balance of the water and the fire making a steam inside your heart. That alchemy, that blending of the masculine and feminine energies. Next, I want you to draw down the Heavenly Father light through the top of that top pyramid, and then turn it into a golden infinity symbol that meets at your heart, goes down out the bottom of the lower pyramid, draws that Mother Earth energy up and goes in the opposite direction to meet in your heart, going back up. And you can continue sending those energies through your energetic field that helps to balance these Heavenly Father, solar, Christic, Sirius energies, as well as the earthly mother, water energies, and balances them in the heart. It helps to balance our lower chakras with our upper chakras into a unified chakra in the heart. And then I want on your next inhalation to hold those energies in, pull them into your heart. The masculine and feminine, the water and the fire, the Isis, Osiris, the Christ and the Sophia. Hold your breath and see it like a bellows, as if a bellows was on a fire in your heart, broadening and expanding and building. Then on your exhale, blow it up like a balloon. And you are unifying all of your chakras and your whole energetic field with this unified, alchemized, blended, and balanced energies. You can see it as blowing up a purple bubble to balance the blue and the red, or you can see it as a golden bubble to see it as the middle of that golden infinity symbol, whatever resonates with you, but you are expanding your heart and that balanced masculine and feminine, that alchemized energy throughout all of your chakras and throughout your whole energetic field. Keep inhaling, holding, and exhaling. We're now working on, they're healing the back of the heart chakra by placing a protective infinity symbol on the back of the heart chakra. So the back of the heart chakra is what determines, it's like from your past. So all of your wounds from this childhood as well as past lives. But is placing a protective and healing infinity symbol on the back of the heart chakra. They're also rolling the shoulders down and back, which opens the front of the heart chakra in order to open yourself up to receiving more love. Not only love from others, but most importantly, love from the divine source, love from Mother Earth, and love from yourself. Take a deep breath in. Roll your shoulders down and back. Exhale. Feel your heart expand. Holy cow. Feel yourself glowing in this expanded heart light, in this balanced energy, in this unified chakra, in this unity healing, knowing that you are fully grounded into Mother Earth as well as deeply connected to Sirius, our Son, and the Heavenly Father. When you're ready, you can open your eyes with a big smile on your face, knowing that you are not the same person you were before you started watching this.
I got some light languages coming to just integrate all of that. Kore iyana ha hiyata shawore ikiana kaya ituri imiata astukoyana itiamo kuri nianiata ashaniaka ikukukore a iti imako ata. And that is love from the Lemurian sisters. To ore iya asta akia to uia. Shall we walk in the light? Shall we show the light? And shall we show the way? To ur ini eti imiatra aviata. And so it is.
And so it is.
Oh,
What's
come
interesting is
back
the Lemurian aspect is interesting because that's the feminine water, right? That's an epoch that was very water oriented and very feminine oriented. And the masculine, the upward facing pyramid is Atlantis, which is why a lot of pyramids are left over from that epoch. It was very masculine oriented. And so it's even like balancing the masculine Atlantean epoch and our karma from that, and balancing the Lemurian epoch and our karma from that, and all of those energies. That was amazing. It's amazing. Oh, my heart is on
amazing. You know how spirit
fire.
is. Mine too. Ooh, yeah.
Like if it's hot, it literally feels hot. All right.
How is everybody feeling? Let us know in the comments.
Put it in the comments.
Anybody
Let us
want to
know.
comment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you feel? Did you see anything? What did you experience? How do you feel now?
We both have Isis cards, so we're going to pull a card here real quick.
Yeah, I don't know that we explained this actually. So we should probably explain this. So I'm also wearing my Isis pendant. But Isis is what, how should I say this? To the ancient Egyptians, Isis was represented by the Canis Major constellation, which is where the star Sirius comes in. And the Orion constellation represented Osiris. And although Osiris is, Patty Schoon, she says, my heart is also warm. Thank you. Very powerful. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Patty. So that's why we have our Isis cards out, because Isis, Sirius, Canis Major, we just thought we'd go with the whole theme here today. So Bonnie, I thought it'd be cool if we each pulled a card to see, because we're both going to get, we're just going to get whatever messages is for all of our highest and best good, but I'm curious to see which ones we pull. But we thought it'd be fun to add these cards to the mix just because, Isis, Sirius, Canis Major. So Isis would be like the energy of the earth, as well as the energies of Venus, but mostly Isis represents the energies of earth. And Osiris represents the energies of the sun, namely the noonday sun, where Horus is like the sunrise and Set is quite literally the sunset.
Well, what came out for me was there was three cards that jumped out, but I'm just going to show them real quick, and then you add on.
Go for it. I'm still shuffling. I don't feel.
I got right. Okay, so I got Rising Sun, Divine Solar Child Reborn. So here we are working with the sun, and I'm working with our self. Isn't that amazing? The Rising Sun, Divine Solar Child Reborn, and then what came out after that was stay true in your power, Orion and Isis, Lord and Lady of Divine Authority. So, stay in your power, stay in your, let your sun rise. And Spirit of Isis was the last one, triumph of the goddess. So this is the triumph of your goddess, of who you truly are. So really let that sun rise within you and be your true, authentic self, and allow your Spirit of Isis, the triumph of the goddess within you. And that's what I got.
Holy crap.
Let's see what Jen did.
So, well, first of all, I have to talk about the middle card that you got with Isis and Osiris, because what did we just do? We just balanced the masculine and feminine. We balanced the sun and the earth in ourselves. Yes, that blows my mind. We just did that. So, secondly, the card that I got it's called Abundance of Sothis, Stellar Blessings of the Celestial.
She even spoke to us because she was saying.
What did you say?
I said, well, she was even talking to us about the rising sun. This is what we're doing right now.
Oh, yeah.
And then she brings in, the authentic us. And we've been talking about truth the whole time.
Yes. But
And then the Spirit of Isis being a goddess within.
Fascinating.
God goddess within. It's not just for female.
Yes, exactly. Well, we all have the goddess aspect within us. So I got Abundance of Sothis, Stellar Blessings of the Celestial Goddess of Abundance. So at the beginning of this broadcast, I was talking about how yesterday was Lammas or Lunasa for those of us who follow the cycles of the seasons. So it's the halfway point between the summer solstice and the fall equinox, and it's what's referred to as the first harvest. So of course we got this card that refers to a harvest, and it's about looking at what abundance has borne fruit. That's what Lammas and Lunasa is all about. So I thought that was great, but then also look at the symbol right there. What did we just do? We just made a Merkaba.
Yeah.
That balanced the masculine.
We just brought in the sun. Yeah, we brought it together.
Yep, that's a Merkaba, That is a balance of the masculine and feminine energies. How freaking amazing is that?
Yeah, she's
All
just
right,
confirming
everyone.
that she likes what we just did, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, 100%. God bless it. That's fascinating. All right, everyone. Well, we've gone over an hour, so we're going to wrap it up. I just want to say thank you all so much to everyone who joined us and participated, and especially participating in the chat. That's kind of our meat and taters. That's our favorite, was when you can join in with us. But I hope you all had a great time. I hope you all got some benefit out of it, and yeah, just thanks again for supporting us. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe on whichever YouTube channel you're watching this from as well. There's a little banner for you. Bonnie, did you want to say anything before we close out? Bonnie? Can you hear me?
I think it froze and we're still live.
Oh.
You still there, Jen? On my side, we're still live.